What's up, everyone? Chef Dave here. I got this idea to record. You'll be curious to kind of see what I'm feeling and how I'm going through things mentally. I don't know if this will ever make the light of day, but I thought even just for myself, this would be interesting to look back at. I had this idea a couple days ago. I just didn't pull the trigger. I guess I was a little bit down. It's always harder to do new and interesting things when you're down. But what I'm talking about is, some of you out in YouTube world might not know this, but I am an actual chef in New York City. Semi recently opened a restaurant with two friends that I've known for 20 plus years, Ori and Savan, called Fox Face, or Fox Face Natural is actually the full name. I'm not going to go too deep into the background of the restaurant, but we opened about a year and a half ago with very good reviews. Isn't anything crazy or new. For me, I think I've had pretty good reviews about what I do over the years. I guess I was back in the day, just like any young cook or chef is, very reliant or caring about reviews and lists and all that good stuff. I've become less, I don't want to say affected by these things, but I don't dwell on them as much is probably the best way to put it. But with the opening of Fox Face, there's obviously a couple that I really cared about. One of them being Michelin. I don't have any delusions of grandeur. I believe what we do at Fox Face is obviously the utmost quality in a very casual setting. I think we speak volumes to being what I would consider a 1 Michelin star restaurant, and that's what I was hoping for. I didn't think we would be on the list. I didn't think there was enough time. It was only a couple months after we opened to be considered on that first list. Again, it wasn't a big deal that we were a part of it, but I was fully hoping and expecting, if you will, to be under consideration for this coming year. And lo and behold, we were part of one of the groupings of restaurants that were being considered. I think they released like 5 batches of like 5 to 7 or something like that, and we were a part of it along with a lot of other great restaurants. We're pretty excited. I mean, I think we are always trying to put our best foot forward, as in with any restaurant. I think we have our ups and downs. I was pretty hopeful of being involved in getting 1 star this year. You kind of wait in this system that you're hoping to be a part of, and I just really fucking hate that feeling. I really hate that feeling. I get it, I understand it all. I just really hate that feeling, and if I'm honest, I think it's affected me a little bit more than I expected over these last couple weeks. Typically speaking, Michelin sends out an email about a month or so before the actual award ceremony, and this year it's got pushed back all the way to December 9th, so the wait was even longer. I understand why they pushed it back. I think last year it might have been like the first week in November, but we had the election here this year. So I totally get why it was pushed back. But then on Wednesday of last week, restaurants, who all talk to each other, for the most part, or at least talk to the people that we have relationships with. And so I was in contact with my good friends at Frevo and really good friend Lee Wolin out in Chicago, and several other restaurants that I know of. And so last Wednesday, emails went out. We did not receive an email, which I was really bummed about. And I reached out to a couple people, because a couple people reached out to me about, did we get the email, did we not, so on and so forth. I mean, friends are friends, right? So they were surprised that we didn't get an email. And then after talking to a couple people, it seems that the initial email probably went out to the folks who have already been awarded something. I talked to 2 or 3 restaurants that were on that list of, being in consideration, and no one that I talked to, which is a very, very small percentage, had received anything up to that point. So I guess that gave me a glimmer of hope. I guess I just wanted to go over the effect some of this stuff has on chefs, and especially a chef like myself who is relatively unbothered by most things. So I guess I was taken by surprise how much it ended up affecting me up to this point. Who knows what the end result will be? Maybe we'll get an email tomorrow. I don't know. The first night was pretty rough, if I'm honest. Didn't feel good. I was kind of became a little short-fused in the kitchen, short-tempered. I think I hit it pretty well, all in all, but I can feel myself being more agitated and aggressive, which isn't really a great recipe for someone like myself. Has a little bit of a history of being aggressive. Went home that night, kind of did the classic chef thing. You eat your feelings a little bit, and destroyed all the snacks in snack time world, and ice cream and everything else. And I was probably up till 5 or 6 in the morning, and I fell asleep for a couple hours and then went back to work. So I was pretty affected that first night, especially since I really didn't consider that the new people might be getting emails afterwards. I really was in the mindset of fuck, we fucked up and we're not getting it, and being extremely disappointed because, again, that being one of the goals of the restaurant and of myself in particular. Things came to the realization that they might actually be sending things later, and so I guess that numbed it out a little bit for a day or two. Here we are about 5 days after the fact, and I'm not feeling good about it. I'm not sleeping very well at all, which for me, I'm not really a good sleeper in general, so that doesn't help. I'm definitely feeling less motivated to do anything. I have friends in town right now, and was supposed to hang out with them yesterday, but something came up, and it just, I had to deal with it, and then another thing happened, and it just left me totally unmotivated to, go out and see them. Not that there was really that much of an opportunity yesterday, but, I probably could have gotten up earlier today if I didn't fall asleep at like 5 and gone out and seen them. Probably would have been a healthy thing to do, just from a mental state. Really wish it didn't affect me like this. Like I said, I'm kind of surprised in a lot of ways that it is affecting me as much as it is. I guess more so just, it was really one thing I really kind of wanted, and that I really felt was in our grasp. The New York Times is great, paper of record, and all due respect to them. I already had a kind of a tumultuous relationship with Pete Wells, so if I'm quite honest, I didn't think we would get 3 stars from them. It was really nice surprise that we did. That affected me way less. The idea of that affected me almost non-existently, if I'm honest. I didn't really give a shit what the Times or Pete Wells thought of me. No offense to Pete. For some reason, and maybe it's because it's a broader thing, the Michelin was kind of the one thing that I really wanted. I would have loved to be, the dream would be to be, considered in the San Pellegrino top 100. I know a lot of people hate that list and everything. I just still think it holds a lot of water, and a lot of people I know and respect are on that list, and I'd like to be a part of that personally, But I just thought it'd be interesting for people to hear or see kind of what we go through as chefs when it comes to this stuff. If we don't get it, it's going to be heartbreaking, if I'm honest. I'll be pretty fucking bummed out. I'll do as I've done in the rest of my life, and that's dust myself off, get up, and keep going forward. That's kind of what I've always done. It's probably one of the most nervous or unsettled I think I've been in my career, which is interesting. I care less about some stuff and way more about other things in life now. It's important, whether we like it or not as an industry, it is important. And you'd be a fool to believe otherwise. You can say it, but you'd be just fucking lying to yourself. The fact is, people look at these things and they oftentimes dictate if you're busy or not, or even if you stay open in some cases. Here on Thursday night, I was gonna make a video yesterday about what's been going on, because internally, I guess my final date, realistically speaking, I think was this past Wednesday. There's, I guess, sort of still an outside chance, that they might contact us Monday or Tuesday next week, or even tomorrow, who knows. Still feeling pretty disappointed about it all. Still having some trouble sleeping and stuff. Just down by it. I think that's the best way I feel, or how I can describe it. You work so fucking much for this stuff, And I know I shouldn't let it affect me quite as much as it does. And like I said in the other video, I'm kind of surprised it's affecting me this much, if I'm honest. It's just a bummer, man. Like, you just put in so much work. It's not like we didn't have it, right? It wasn't in the bag or isn't anything like that. We still have to earn these things. I thought we did enough to earn it. At least definitely from a food perspective, I thought we did more than enough to earn it. I think what we're doing is inventive and different and unique in so many ways, beyond what a lot of other people are doing. And that's that's not a dig to other people. I love this industry and I love the people who are in it. As many douchebags as you'll find in this industry, I think you find more people who are hardworking and caring and want to please people. And I think that's the nature of cooks and chefs in general. If it wasn't, I don't think many of us would be doing this anyway. But again, that's where accolades and everything else come in. It's just disappointing. I don't know if I have another year in me working like this to give it another go. I just don't know if I have that in me. If I'm not shooting for that accolade, I think maybe my life would have to change a little bit, and I'd have to figure many things out. I still love what I do. I love cooking, and I love cooking for the people that enjoy what we're doing. That's still a huge thing for me. It's something I live for, and it's something that keeps me going. I've had several friends reach out to me over the last couple days, and again, this goes to show you how great the people in the industry really are. Keep going and don't worry, like, blah, 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 all the things that good people say to you when you're in a shitty place. And again, I guess I'm still holding on to a glimmer of hope. I'm just really kind of down by it. The motivation to do more and nice things and all, pushing the envelope, it's definitely decreased over this last week, 2 weeks. You start to feel like, what the fuck is the point? You put all this work in already. You don't know how you could put more in. There's always ways to get better and to do better, of course. I'm a firm believer in constant improvements. All that takes a lot of energy and time and effort, and just no spring chicken anymore. I'm getting older, getting tired. Again, maybe there's still hope, I don't know. I still have my fingers crossed, but I imagine if we don't hear by Monday or Tuesday, Tuesday is stretching it, but I imagine if we don't hear by Monday, it's probably not going to happen. Hopefully, I'll start getting a little more balanced out mentally. Looking forward to spending time with my family for Thanksgiving, and having a couple days off before Thanksgiving. And so here we are, early Monday afternoon. I didn't really feel like recording anything after Friday. Just was in my opinion, the last day we could have heard anything about Michelin. But today I think is truly the last day by end of day. So it's like 3 o'clock in the afternoon right now. Only a couple more hours of possible time of hearing it. Like I said, I don't think it's going to happen. I just want to go over the emotions of, how these things make chefs feel. And, like I said, I think earlier, you can say you don't care about these things. God knows I say them constantly, all you want. But in the truth of the matter is that they matter. And although that shouldn't be your only focus from a validation standpoint, making people happy and getting good day-to-day reviews are all high markers in the world I live in and the things I look at. My peers, obviously, who've come in to eat and everything, who have reached out and given many kind words over the last couple weeks. All that is more important, I think, than just being on a list. However, this is a business in the end, no matter which way you cut it. And it doesn't matter if your backers are millionaires or you're a mom and pop spot trying to make do. The bottom line is these lists equate to asses and seats, and that is the black and white of it. Every list that you're on brings more people in. If you're a good restaurant, you're going to be naturally busy in the sweet spots, between 7 and 9 o'clock, we'll say here in New York City. It's different wherever you live, but here the sweet spot is really 7 and 8:30. 9 o'clock is already pushing it late for New Yorkers these days. Those are your break-even marks, right? Being busy at those, you can be busy, you can be full every day from 7 o'clock to 8:30. And that's really equates to one seating, essentially, no matter how big your restaurant is or small. So where you begin to see a difference and, pay your bills and make your money is in the beginning, before 7 o'clock, and then at the end, after 8:30, 9 o'clock. And those are the spots in the restaurant world that make a difference. Lists like Michelin, New York Times, especially the lists that are come out yearly, if you will. Those are the things that really make those seatings possible. From a not getting the Michelin, which I believe we didn't, it hurts because from a selfish standpoint, I really wanted it personally. That's like I said earlier, I think there's only 1 or 2 lists I really cared about, and that was one of them. From a selfish standpoint, it hurts quite a bit, if I'm honest. Again, more than I thought it would. But it also hurts from like a team aspect and a restaurant aspect, where from a team aspect, I'm not the only one working there, right? Like, especially the kitchen crew, in particular, who've been there, Eli and Berg have been there since the beginning. They're all working for the same things. We're all working for the same things. So when you don't hit those, when you don't get those recognitions, it fucking sucks. It hurts everybody. I hate to see the guys hurt like that. In some aspect, I feel like I failed. I feel like I failed them as much as I feel like I've failed myself. And I know no one likes to fail, but it feels, the weight of it feels shitty. The weight of feeling like you failed the people that you're supposed to be leading is a really shitty feeling. And over the course of the last 2 weeks, there's been a lot of self-reflection. I feel ridiculous that I'm fucking crying over something like this. And the tears aren't for the star or anything like that, because that's fine, that's whatever. I'll work past that. I've been down more times than I care to admit. The struggle and the self-reflection is really about the feelings of failing the people you work with. And, you know, standing next to everyone, we all know we can do better, right? I've been a good leader for a majority of my life. I've captain of every baseball team I ever played for, from Little League to college, and I've always been a leader among men. And as ridiculous as this may sound, I've very often have shot a high percentage in the success column. Not always, obviously. Laura was a little bit of a failure to me, even though it was beloved. I guess one of the biggest things I'm taking away from this failure is that obviously there's a lot to work on, I think, if we are going to be considered through this self-reflection. I think we have to have honest self-reflection periods throughout the year and really look at what we're doing, how we're doing it, and if it's the path we all believe in, right? And if it's the path that's going to get us something like, you know, a Michelin star. Not all restaurants have to be Michelin restaurants, right? And I think that's probably the biggest thing I've taken away from these last 2 weeks of feeling absolutely fucking dreadful and not sleeping and everything else, just not being able to turn this off. And I know many of my colleagues in this world are like that. And, you know, life goes on. We have to live and learn from what we go through. And I don't know how many people will be, you know, stick through all this for the next round of Michelin specifically. But, you know, we're just going to keep doing it as best we can and pushing forward. And, you know, I hope that everyone out there, you know, who's in this same position as myself, you know, does the same. And we got to believe in ourselves. We got to keep pushing and, you know, and be realistic. And, you know, not every restaurant has to be a Michelin restaurant, you know, that's for sure. But in the end, I think we have to be able to find more joy in our work than we currently are. And that joy can be a lot of different things. I think joy is different to everyone. But being a leader taking responsibilities for educating the people who have chosen to work for us, because I don't think we can ever forget that there's a million job opportunities in our business out there. So the people who've elected to work with you and stay with you, we have to make sure we're doing right by them and molding them into the, future chefs, cooks, whatever you want to call it, that we want them to be. I've never been an overly selfish person. I do try to take care of others quite a bit in my circle. I don't long reach it, that's for sure. I believe in we're affecting the immediate world around me more so than, solving the hunger issue of the world. I don't know if that's a good example, but I like things that I can affect and see change. And through all this, maybe that's what I should be focusing on. Anyway, we got a couple more hours. Again, my hopes aren't very high as far as this year's concerned, but we'll see. I'll chime in one last time, and then it'll be time to move forward. Yesterday were the awards, and as expected. I mean, I guess part of me was hoping for a last-minute miracle. We obviously didn't get a star this year. Again, hugely disappointed. I really thought we had put enough work in to get one, but that just wasn't the case. Not the end of the world. Just not a great feeling is all for me and everyone involved at the restaurant. We forge on. We were on the recommended list, which means we are, on their radar and everything. So, which is nice. I was actually in fear that we might not even get on the recommended list, which probably would have meant that we really messed something up somewhere along the way. I just don't think that was the case. I think we just have some things to work on and work out and balance, and to make for a more even 1-star experience. And that's what it is. Like I said, I'm not sure if I'm going to post this or not. I might just have it for my own personal thoughts. But if I do, I just thought it would be an interesting window into the ups and downs of going through something like this. This was taken over, about a month period. So, it's there for you to watch and to see what we go through, I think, as chefs, in a nutshell, and restaurateurs. I hope that it enlightened people, that people were able to get something out of it. That'd be great. I feel a little vulnerable putting something like that out there. I'm not well known for being vulnerable. As a Gen Xer, we pride ourselves on our toughness and our ability to deal and cope. I think that's a deep characteristic of my generation. But, I think sometimes you have to remember that it's okay to not be okay. And, hopefully, like I said, this sheds a little light on what it is to be a chef. It's not all the nonsense you see on TV. It is real, and, it can be very emotional at times, because so much of what we are, I think, is put on the plates in front of you, if that makes sense. So, anyway, I hope you enjoyed this. If you are watching it and you made it all the way through, until next time. Hopefully next year's a better year. Thanks, guys.